Let's get back to our top story now. The ANC's Integrity Commission recommending that the party's Secretary General Ace Magashule step aside. Of course, coming just after Magashule appeared before the ruling party's Integrity Commission at the weekend. Magashule out on bail at present of 200,000 rand for criminal charges related to a multi-million rand asbestos project while he was premier of the Free State province. Our colleague Samkele Maseko, who is at Luthuli House in Johannesburg, the headquarters of the ruling party, joins us now as well. So good afternoon to you, Samkele. Certainly, perhaps more word from the ANC with regards to this ruling by its Integrity Commission. Have you gotten a sense of whether the party will indeed enforce what has been put together by Integrity Commission?
Well, Arabile, we are expecting to hear from the governing party within the next hour through its spokesperson, Pulemabe, who has arrived here at Luthuli House, who is seemingly going to address a media briefing on this particular issue of the recommendation of the Integrity Commission that the Secretary General Ace Magashule must step aside on the virtue that he is currently charged in relation to that 250 million rands asbestos contract which was awarded during his tenure as the Free State Premier in that particular province. The ANC has been mum on this particular issue earlier on. Speaking to Pulemabe, the spokesperson, offline, he did say that they are not yet aware of this particular report by the Integrity Commission. We do know that the Secretary General Ace Magashule did have the audience of the Integrity Commission here at Luthuli House on Saturday on that particular meeting that lasted the entire day, where the Secretary General took the Integrity Commission through the various allegations and the charges that he's currently facing in Bloemfontein in the Free State in relation to that asbestos contract. But what is rather interesting is that in the recommendation and the report of the Integrity Commission, they do state that the Secretary General has said that should the National Executive Committee of the ANC recommend and make a decision that he must step aside as the SG of the ANC, he is willing to abide by the decisions of the highest decision-making body or structure of the ANC between conferences. But outside of that engagement with the Integrity Commission, the SG of the ANC, speaking to his supporters in Bloemfontein, said these following words, quote, "I will never step aside being told by any of the leaders of the ANC, but I will only step aside if a special national conference of the ANC is convened and the branches of the ANC say I must step aside, then I will abide by the decisions of the branches of the ANC that I must step aside." End of quote. Those were the words of the Secretary General of the ANC last month, Ace Magashule, when he appeared in court in Bloemfontein over those charges.
Sure.
But his words have since changed, looking and judging from what has been written by the Integrity Commission chaired by George Mashamba, the ANC veteran.
Yeah. Have we gotten any word then recently from Ace Magashule? I mean, we know very well, and the ANC has recently said, of course, that the branches do not determine the fate of all of its leaders. It just brings them on upon voting, but it is up to the NEC to make these final decisions. Have we heard from Ace Magashule since this Integrity Commission note as yet? And is there perhaps a way that the NEC would actually go against the Integrity Commission's findings on this one, Samkele?
Well, we have not yet heard anything from the Secretary General of the ANC, Ace Magashule, on this particular recommendation of the Integrity Commission, Arabile, which goes further to say, should Ace Magashule resist to step aside upon the recommendation or the decision of the NEC can then move to Rule 25.7 of the ANC Constitution, which stipulates that the SG or any official of the ANC who's currently been charged with any issue in court must be suspended. It goes further to say that and recommends that should Magashule resist to step aside, the NEC can then enforce Rule 25.7 of the ANC Constitution and suspend the Secretary General of the ANC. He's been very mum on this issue. I tried earlier on before this particular crossing to exchange and to call Ace Magashule. The phone went unanswered. We've tried other people around him to try and get some sort of word from the Secretary General, but none is forthcoming. Even his trusted lieutenants has seemingly gone to ground. He himself has gone to ground and is seemingly remaining mum on this particular issue. But to other media houses in the past, in this particular building, to another commercial station, he did say that he will never step aside.
Yeah.
In Bloemfontein, he repeated the same words and went further to say that he can only step aside if he is told and he is asked by the branches of the ANC in a special national conference. But the National Executive Committee of the ANC in recent past has rejected the recommendations of the Integrity Commission. One case in point is that recommendation they made to the head of the political school, the Deputy Minister of Finance and ANC member, Dr. David Masonda, that he should also step aside and resign in the NEC, resign as the Deputy Minister, resign in Parliament. That has yet not happened.
Yeah, very interesting actually. How significant this is it as well then, Samkele, as we head into the elections next year then? Could this be damaging for the ANC?
It may not necessarily be damaging for brand ANC, particularly our own international relations editor, Sophie Mukwena, says you can't measure the recent by-elections as the mood of the country. But essentially, what you can detect is that brand ANC, for the longest of time, particularly in the era of former President Jacob Zuma, has been battered for the longest of time. You'd remember comments by NEC member and the Minister of Transport, Fikile Mbalula, in saying that Dr. Nkosazana Dlamini Zuma, should she have won the ANC conference in 2017, the ANC would have certainly been in the opposition benches after the 2019 general election. Those are some of the comments that have been branded about by some ANC NEC members, saying that the ticket and the brand of the ANC President Cyril Ramaphosa basically got the ANC re-elected with that 58.4-59% that the governing party got in these past general elections, to put them through to win the national elections and just win by a knife's edge the economic hub of the country, Gauteng. So the ANC brand has been battered, but it has proven time in memorial that they are able to pull through and win elections, even though they do come back with a reduced majority. But what it does do, this recommendation of the Integrity Commission, it sharpens contradictions of the political imaginations within the governing party, particularly going into the National General Council of the ANC, the NGC, that is going to take place on a hybrid basis at the end of May in 2021. So those political dynamics then come into the fore, and those pushing for a vote of no confidence against President Ramaphosa. We've had some ANC members and some former leaders of the party in saying that, particularly some former PEC members in KwaZulu-Natal, saying that at the NGC they're going to push for a special national conference to take place and for the entire ANC NEC to be removed. So the political imaginations within the governing party and the contradictions have definitely been sharpened.
Yep, that's certainly for sure. Thank you so much, Samkele Maseko, out at Luthuli House here in Johannesburg, then the headquarters of the African National Congress. Then following then that Integrity Commission ruling then that Ace Magashule, the Secretary General of the ANC, indeed should be stepping aside. Whether the NEC of the ANC will indeed accept that is yet to be seen. So we'll follow that story for you, of course, as the day progresses.